Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode where I'm going to try and build a budget Bonneville Scrambler for under £4,000. So a couple of weeks ago, I started this Bonneville project as part of another project. I'll get into that in a minute. Underneath this cover is what I would say is about 70% finished. So this is a 2003 Triumph Bonneville. I nearly said bobber, it's not a bobber. It's just a Triumph Bonneville T100, which is the 800cc twin carb model. Not that I'm sure they ever did a single carb. Probably didn't. I'm just waffling. Why do I always waffle on these videos? This is Bonneville. I've always really liked the Scrambler, and they obviously do a Scrambler XE edition now, which is jacked up and off-road and looks really cool. But let's be honest, at 13 or 14 odd thousand pounds, slightly unaffordable. So what I want to know is, can you build a budget Bonneville Scrambler for less than £4,000 that you can have as much fun on? And obviously the as much fun part is subjective, because I don't know what it's like to own a Scrambler XE, and I'm not going to spend any more money on bikes this year unless this channel takes off, and then you guys can be my pay pig and I'll go out and buy all the bikes you want me to. So I'm not going to show you just yet. The footage that you're about to see is from a couple of weeks ago, and it was actually originally designed for my other channel, which is the Land Rover based content. So for those of you that don't know, I actually restore Land Rover Defenders for a living, which is what all this is, right? We're in the Coachman Defenders workshop. Now, I decided to build a matching motorcycle to go with a Defender project, and I'd seen a bit of content from a builder called Moto that had a Triumph looking bike on the back of a Defender, and it was on like a rack, and he drives around and then gets the bike off and does skids in the dirt. I decided I was going to do something similar and build a matching Bonneville. So forgive the content, it might seem a little bit odd. It wasn't designed to go onto this channel necessarily, but now it's here. So I'm doing this from in the future. So past Andrew will explain a little bit about what's been going on and what the general idea is, and yeah, we'll see if we can build a budget Bonneville Scrambler. And then I'm going to off-road it. We'll actually do some bike content, I promise. We'll get out, we'll do some bike content. I'll follow along with the build. This is a build series rather than content on bikes. So it is content on bikes. So what about a little sneak peek? No, you have to watch the video. And if you're watching the video, do us a favour and like and subscribe, will you? Because if I'm going to buy a Scrambler XE, I can only pay for it if you guys like and subscribe. Guys, I forgot to mention that I also built another matching part, so there's 3 of them. I'm going to see if I can ride this into the shop. Bear with, because I am not a professional. I am a professional. Whoa. Big Hollywood crash. So I built a matching e-bike as well, and I'm giving the colour away a bit here, and I'll show you the Defender as well. So I'll turn the camera around and I'll show you what the Defender looks like. I built a matching e-bike to go with the motorbike and the Defender. If anybody is actually interested in watching any Defender content as well with this, why don't you leave it in the comments? Say, I'd like to see a Defender or something similar. I'll chuck the bike on the back door of the Defender and we'll take it somewhere interesting and go on an adventure. So here's the Defender, obviously a work in progress. Giving away the colour again a little bit. There's a fair bit to do on it, as you can see, but that should give you an idea. The Bonneville will be mounted on the back. Not that the Defender has anything to do with this channel. We're not going to get distracted by Defenders. But just in case any of you are interested in watching any Defender content, jump across to our other channel. We've got Coachman Defenders. I'll try and put a link there, or maybe there. I don't know how any of this YouTube stuff works, so I'll do my best. There'll be some kind of thing around here somewhere that you might be able to click. If not, I'll just write the name on the screen, because that's really easy. You just type it and it comes up. Yeah. So that's you up to speed. Now let's get on with the build. For those of you thinking about doing something like this at home, there's a method to putting things back together, which I'm currently not following because we can't find them. But what I normally do is, when I take something out, as in there's quite a specific bolt for the rear seat, I put that in a sandwich bag and with a Sharpie pen just write seat. Same with all these bits. I mean, fortunately there's not enough stuff really to worry about for me, you know, that we can't figure it out when it goes back together. But to give you an idea of what I'm thinking, I've left the front and rear mudguards on. I actually refitted the rear mudguard because I'm trying to work on a line that I'm happy with. I'm going to lose that whole back end because it hangs too low. And what I want to do is show the tyre. I want like a calf racer, desert sled kind of look. So what I'd really like to do is follow the line of the seat. So I'm going to tape that up and mark it out as best I can. And on the front, what I've decided is I'm going to shorten it up that much. So the black lines are where I'm going to cut it. But what I'm going to do, because I quite like that profile, I'm going to cut straight across there and then use this profile as a template for that cut. I do believe, and I'm not a motorbike mechanic or restoration guy, but I do believe because the mudguard is so much shorter, we probably won't need these braces. So I think that'll be okay. Worst case, we'll make something. But what I'd also like to do is try and make a mount to lift this mudguard up as well. I figured having that up a little taller, shorter rear mudguard, and yeah, some knobbly tyres and things would be pretty cool. So that's what I'm going with at the moment. There is room to change, obviously. You can actually see the colour behind. That is Nara Bronze Metallic, which is a modern Land Rover colour. That is what colour this bike will be, hopefully by next week. So now it's cut, just tidied up those edges a little bit. I'm going to sand that down, but I'm just going to offer it back up to the bike and maybe smooth it off a little bit more, just as a bit of a dip. I'm not sure if you can see it, there's a little bit of a dip there, and I think it's part of a dent, but it could be my eyes. A little bit more of a tick off. I suppose one thing that sticks out, the reason I left any of that on at all was because I wanted somewhere to mount a rear light. Maybe not the indicators. I've seen something maybe that might go up on the shock, but what I've realised is I haven't left myself a lot of space there. So I suppose the next question is, do I have the seat trimmed slightly? Or do I just lose that altogether and make some kind of bracket from underneath? But we'll have it painted and then we've got the option. I'll have this painted. But I suppose the second option might be, because I quite like the look of it without a fender at all, that maybe just the back of the seat with a bracket for the number plate and the indicators and things, like a tail tidy. So yeah, now onto the front. So we've got a couple of different options. I've got a somewhat straight cut. I could use that as a template and have that as the original cut. I think that's actually probably the right way to go. I think we'll take that up again. It feels quite strange doing something that I'm unsure on, or having to think a little, because the Defenders get quite samey. Obviously we've got some things like Zeus has the air suspension. I've only done that once before, so it's quite nice sometimes to do something that, yeah, takes a bit of thought. I think something like that. That could work. Let's go with that. I have second guessed myself slightly. That's the mark that I made while it was on the bike. I've made it a little bit longer. This is the back side, so it just didn't, it looked way too short, but I've probably messed that up. This is the beauty of trying it. At least if I don't take too much off, I can take a little bit more off. But let's test fit that back up and see what it looks like. That's a bit more fiddly than I thought it would be. Not so keen on the idea of refitting this after it's been painted. There's a bit of effort involved there. Yeah, that looks cool. That looks very cool. Yeah, I think second guessing myself was the right decision on the mudguard length. It's funny because that paint actually looks really nice. Still unsure on this. Might have to revisit that. I think maybe get an idea of the profile of the bike. It might actually look alright without it. And just not refit that at all. But if it's painted, as I said, I've got the option. Really love the look of that tyre. I'm hoping I can make it fit, but there is a bit of a clearance issue at the moment, in that it's quite tight. I don't know if when the bolts of the mudguard are in, whether or not that is going to be too tight, but we'll see. Only one way to tell. That would be really cool if I could get a 120 profile tyre on there, as the original profile is only 100, and obviously make use of something that I've had in stock for a little while. Yeah, I wonder if you can start to see the general idea.
route. Always had a way to make it work and find another route. Always had a way to make it work and find another route. Always had a way to make it work and find another route.
I'm not going to show any further forward because I have already fitted some panels. Now is the time to take the rear wheel out and see if I can make the 180 tyre fit. It sort of fits. Bit of room to play with, so I'll put it on the wheel and see what it looks like. Thanks for watching the video. Now I'm going to unveil the actual progress so far. I think this is going to be part 1. And I'll talk you through a little bit about the vision and what I'm going to try and achieve. So we painted this in-house, the benefits of having a painter. And I'm not a bike mechanic, right? So I don't know how all this wizardry works. I'm a mechanic, so I guess it does transfer. But I'll turn the camera around and show you what I got up to. And the keen eyed of you that actually have been on our channel page will see that this bike's on the header, and it always has been, so it's not really a surprise. What I've done is painted it. That's obviously the key thing that matches it with the project, not that you guys care so much about that. I've got some bits left to put on, like the little rubber panels and things, and the badges that I've painted satin black, not those but the other bits. I fitted the tyres from my old KTM 1290 Super Adventure. I had a set of 170 tyre, 170 rear tyre and a 120 front that actually fit. I'm not going to question it too much because I don't think they're meant to be on there, being the standard rear tyre size is a 130, but they do look bloody cool. So that works. I'm going to get a gold link chain, and then the rest of the modifications, I want to try and get the shock situation sorted out on the back. I've seen some people selling Fox shocks. There's actually a set of second-hand ones online at the moment that I think are about £400 or £500. Yes, it might be a bit excessive for what I'm trying to achieve here, but you probably guessed already that's the way I am. The exhaust, I think I'm just going to polish those ends up and leave it open. Might be too loud, but we'll figure that out as we go. If not, I'm going to have to try and figure something out. I would have really liked the high-level sort of scrambler setup, but there doesn't appear to be anything for this bike in particular. Otherwise, I'm going to paint that black, paint the rocker cover black. I'm going to upholster the seat in the same interior colour as the Defender that I'm building. Something like that. Probably going to shorten the seat down. A set of Renthal or Pro Taper handlebars, something lower with the brace maybe. And then on the front, I want to put a headlight guard. I want to sort of de-chrome it as much as possible, whilst, as mentioned, leaving those covers as they are, because I think somebody spent a lot of time making those look really, really good, and it would be a shame to waste that. Otherwise, I think that's it. And then I'm going to off-road it. I promise I'm going to ride a bike. At some point, you're actually going to see me riding a bike. Don't worry, it's nothing exciting. I'm terrible on a bike. Fat dad reviews, isn't it? They're just the average dad review. Don't know if you can review a Bonneville. I don't know if that's been done to absolute death, but I'll review this one. I'll review this guy's work and let you know what I thought. I don't know about you guys, but working on bikes is much easier when you can get them up off the ground. This is one of those cheap eBay tables, bike tables. I've had it for a number of years. I think it was £250 maybe. The only additional thing I bought was this jack stand. It doesn't work very well, to be honest, on a Bonneville. The frame is like uneven, well, it didn't seat properly on the frame. But getting it up at this level made working on it way easier. Yeah, so the general idea is I want to put some kind of black mesh guard on the front, black the headlight out, put some mini indicators on. I've got to come up with either manufacture or find something else as a plate hanger for the back with some indicators and stuff and a tail light. But yeah, otherwise I'm going to pretty much leave it looking semi-original. The bars is the only thing I'm unsure on, because it would be quite nice to be able to stand up, and obviously if I put a lower bar on it that might hinder it slightly. And I do happen to know that one of the fuel lines perished when I took it apart, so might have to replace that. Well, I definitely will have to replace that. I don't know who I'm talking to there. I was thinking about cutting these off. What do you guys think? I was tempted to cut those off entirely and give it a proper twin shock scrambler look. But I think, to be honest, really, we can surmise what I've done, guys, in just a few words. Knobbly tyres, and I've painted it. So yeah, I'm just trying to string it out for the content, y'all. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. So stay tuned for part 2, which will be the minor modifications. There's probably only a little bit of content left on this before it's time to ride. But hopefully I can get this thing out of the workshop and do some riding, which is what you're all here to watch, right?